Be a champion. We don't give up. We don't quit. We keep going. Day in, day out. We fight on. Why? Because we are champions. Be a champion.
Welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be able to do this for you all. I'm excited for what's about to come tomorrow, and I just want to help every one of you out there get the best results as possible on this amazing all-in challenge. Just so you know, if you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. I'm Colleen Fitzgerald. My husband is Rob. We've been involved with Advocare for a little, almost 4 years. And we obviously love the products. We're still on them almost 4 years later. But it started with the challenge. We got such amazing results with the challenge that we knew if we were feeling this good for 24 days, why wouldn't we want to stick with it? So for those of you that are new to Advocare, there's over 70 plus products. So after the challenge is over, there's a life after the challenge. And according to what your health and fitness goals are, will depend on what products you would want to stay on to continue getting the results that you want. So as far as Monday is concerned, talk about accountability. Right here we have 120 plus thousand people joining us to do this all-in challenge. So, I mean, we always say, always have a partner to stand side by side with to do this all-in challenge, to do a challenge in general, because you hold each other accountable. Well, just think, 120,000 people are doing this with you. And many of you are part of the groups that, the accountability groups on Facebook. So those are used to help every one of us. That's where you're going to post your recipes, questions, comments. Everybody can learn from each other, and everybody can lock arms and help each other in this. So with that being said, let's get excited for tomorrow's start date. And what's our first step? What are we going to do tonight? Because tonight is where we're going to start. So right here, we are going to take our measurements. And this is important. Everybody should do this, because I'm telling you, if you don't do it, in the end, you're going to kick yourself for it, because nobody realizes how much you're going to lose or how great you're going to feel and look in the mirror. So you want to do this tonight. This can be found, I have it right there linked to it so you can see it. You can go right to advocare.com/24-day challenge, and you can find this fitness assessment at the bottom of the page. But please listen to this tip. It's so important. Make sure you weigh yourself tonight before the challenge starts tomorrow. Take your measurements. Take before pictures, because sometimes the scale doesn't always show any type of gains you've made on this and how great you did on the challenge, but pictures do show it. Clothes do show it. The mirror shows it. So definitely take those before pictures. But here is the rule. Do not get on that scale every day throughout the next 10 days. You will torture yourselves. And the reason you don't want to do that is you're taking in a lot of liquids. That's what your job is going to be during this cleanse. The more liquids, the better. So the last thing you want to do is take in all these liquids and then get on the scale and be really disappointed when you see either the numbers stayed the same or even gone up. Because inside your body right now, you're cleansing, so you have your fiber and all that water. So you want to weigh yourself tonight, and then do not get back on that scale until day 11, first thing in the morning. And that's when we're going to start that new phase after the cleanse phase called the max phase. And we'll talk about that after. But so remember, stay off the scale. I know it's tempting because you feel good, you look good, but stay off till day 11. And then what we're also going to do is I want to talk a little bit about Advocare in general. Advocare is not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change. So be creative with your eating, so you stick with it after the challenge is over. So you don't want to make the most boring recipes imaginable and sit there miserable. You want to use your imagination, and there's so many things you can eat. Advocare is not about starving yourself. It's actually the opposite. It's about eating 5 to 6 meals a day and good choices. So again, we're going to use a lot of these recipes will be posted on these accountability Facebook groups that you're probably part of. If not, you can get with whoever invited you and they can invite you on the pages, or you can actually contact me or any of the other leaders that you know. But again, be creative. You also should have received an email from Advocare Corporate that sent you a recipe book. That recipe book, I was looking through it last night, is amazing. I mean, some of those recipes I would eat every day if I could. So again, use your imagination. You have plenty of things you can eat. So now let's talk about some tools you're going to be using. Everybody in your All-In Challenge, you should have received this 24-day challenge daily guide. If you did not receive it and it was not in your box, which again it should have, you can go right there on the bottom of the slide. You'll see where you can locate it on advocare.com/24-day challenge again, and you can print out this book if you wanted to. So I'm going to go through a couple different options you can use to get you through this 24-day challenge and make it a real smooth ride. So again, this is the daily guide that was in your box. You also have, for all our techie people on here, my husband loves this, you can download the app. You go right there again, it shows you how to download this app. It's amazing. It tells you step by step every day what you're going to do. You put in your start date and it'll follow you. I mean, it's amazing that Advocare provides this app for us. And everybody, by the end of the day, you know that you've completed your task for the day and that you've done everything by just clicking on this app and checking it off. So again, this is the 24-day challenge app. You also, we're going back to the 24-day challenge guide. So again, like I told you, yes, you can use the 24-day challenge guide, you can use the app, but I'm going to dive a little bit into this guide that you should have hopefully in your hands so you can follow along with me. Right now, we're going to focus today just on the cleanse phase products. And I had my husband put a check mark above them. So the products we're going to be working with for the next 10 days are the Herbal Cleanse, the Fiber Drink Box, the Omega Plex, and your box of Spark. And then some of you might have taken advantage of the companion products. This could be the extra box of meal replacement shakes. For those of you who did not grab an extra box, do not panic. You have 14 days to get yourself another box if you choose to. Personally, we always do 24 days of the shakes for the main reason that you want to have the best meal first thing in the morning, and I'm going to go into the importance of that as well. But these shakes were formulated to be the perfect breakfast. 24 grams of carbs, 24 grams of protein, the right carbs that you want, the fiber. So again, right now, the challenge came with one box, but again, a lot of people choose to grab that second box, so you have time. And then you also, Catalyst, #1 product for me out of all 70 plus products. So I am very adamant about grabbing that Catalyst for your challenge. Most of you probably have. If you haven't, again, you can grab it, you can put it, you can start using it tomorrow, but if you do not have it, you can grab it as soon as you want and add it to your challenge as well. And you also, starting from day 11 on, you'll be able to add your Thermal Plus and your Carbies as well. So hopefully you're not using that Carbies too much because you're cutting down on carbs. And then also in the book, food suggestions. Let me look over my notes to make sure I don't forget anything because this is really important. When you are, hopefully you're food shopped for tomorrow's start date, these are awesome suggestions. This is like a food shopping list. You go to the food store, you want to get yourself, follow this list. Do you have to go step by step and get every one of these food suggestions? No, but it's going to steer you in the right direction of what are good foods to eat. And it is so important throughout this challenge and after, because again, this is a lifestyle change. You want to eat real food. Triscuits are not real food. You want to eat things from the earth. You want to eat lots of greens and fruits, leafy, think green. I always say think green. And proteins, really good sources of protein. And on here as well, you will see the limit or avoid. This is what I call the do and don't list during the challenge. It is so important. You have committed yourselves to being all in for 2016. So I know you can do it. You know you can do it. You want to limit or avoid these foods and drinks as well as much as possible, especially during the first 10 days, which is so vital because that is when you're cleaning your body out free of those toxins that are built up inside and making you feel not so great. So again, in this guide, you have the shopping guide, and you could use that to figure out which foods are right, as well as the limit and avoids, the do and don'ts as well. And then what's another amazing tool that we have? So you have your daily guide, you have your app that you can download, as well as the virtual coach. And here is Wes Bewley, but our favorite person in the world is one of our very good friends, Liz Simmons. They are virtual coaches for you. And you can find this right on advocare.com/24-day challenge again. And it is like having your own personal coach right there in front of you. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what it looks like. You can actually, when you go on this virtual coach, you can click on a day. It'll show you all 24 days and after, and then you want to click on a day, and it'll tell you, not only will it tell you what's a good thing to eat as far as morning, afternoon, and night, but it also is going to give you a fitness tip. It'll give you snack ideas, and again, it's that face-to-face virtual coach, so it feels like you have somebody right there helping you out. And again, we love this virtual coach because Liz does an awesome job along with Wes in showing you different options and making you feel like you have choices from day to day so you don't get bored of doing the same thing and want to continue this on after the 24 days. Okay, there's another option as well. So you have a lot of support here. We've went through a whole bunch of choices. This is something that I came up with. And it's my 24-day follow-up calendar. A lot of you that are on this tonight, you've loved the product so much that you have now turned to helping others. So for those of you that are on here right now and you are helping others through this and coaching them, this is my 24-day challenge follow-up calendar. If you get with your team that you're a part of, you will actually find the documents that is shown on this calendar in the file section of your team Facebook page. And I use this, I created this to be able to follow my challengers to give them the most success throughout the 24 days and let them know that I'm there for them and I'm following them each day, and I'm not going to let them forget to do something and enjoy the ride and have so much going on. So again, this is my 24-day challenge follow-up for those people who have other people on the challenge, and your job is to get them the success that you had. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was that every one of you should have gotten that email, like I said, with the recipes from Advocare. If you did not, please ask whoever got you on the challenge, because I'm sure we can get that recipe book to you as well. Again, it was emailed to you, so check your email. Sometimes it goes into spam. Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to go over the cleanse phase only. And yes, this is a 24-day challenge that you're participating in, but I don't want to overwhelm anyone. So today, this video is just going to contain the first 10 days. And what's going to happen is on day 10, I'm going to come back with the second phase, the max phase as we call it, days 11 to 24 video. And then at that point, you don't have to worry about what went on during the cleanse phase. So your mind is now focused for the last part of the challenge. So let's go over this. This is going to be from day 1 to 10. And the wonderful thing now, which Advocare changed to make it even easier, is day 1 through 10 is exactly the same. There's no difference. So whatever you do on day 1, you're going to continue out throughout the entire 10 days. So this is, again, this is in your daily guide, and you're going to be able to have this right in front of you and do a checklist, but I'm going to go over it. So you're going to wake up tomorrow. You're excited, you're waking up, you're going to take your Spark, your 2 Probiotic Restore, and for most of you, hopefully, your 3 Catalyst. And another optional product that I didn't mention is Crave Check. So if you did purchase Crave Check, which is amazing, can be used for the entire 24-day challenge for helping with that craving control, you're going to take 1 Crave Check. So that's the first thing you're doing when you wake up. Spark, 2 probiotic, 3 catalyst, optional, 1 crave check, optional. You're going to wait 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, you're going to have your fiber drink. Now, depending on which fiber drink you chose, depends on how you will take it. So let me describe the different fiber. Most of you have done the unflavored. If you have chosen the unflavored, you don't even have to worry about it. You're going to drink your fiber. It doesn't thicken at all, so you can mix it in anything that you want. Some people like to put it into their meal replacement shakes. Some people like to mix it in their Spark. Some people like to just put it in their water. For those of you who did not choose the unflavored and chose either the citrus or the peaches and cream, which is what I'll be using, you're going to make sure that when you put it in your 8 ounces of water, I use 6 ounces, 6 to 8 ounces of water, you're going to pour your fiber packet in, stir it really fast, and then drink it quickly. If you let the citrus or the peaches and cream sit, it will get thicker and harder to drink. So you want to make sure that if you bought any of those two, you're stirring it fast and you're drinking it. No matter which fiber you purchased, unflavored, citrus, or peaches and cream, you want to make sure you refill that same glass up with 8 ounces of water and drink a glass of water afterwards to get the remaining fiber off of the glass, and to also really help it scrub good, because that is the purpose of what fiber, is doing inside your body. So now that your fiber is done, you want to have your meal replacement shake or your breakfast if you've chosen not to have a shake. Just make sure if you're having a breakfast, you are having protein. And another important thing, please listen to this tip. Anytime I tell people that don't know, they're amazed. They didn't realize the importance. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It is what is going to jumpstart your metabolism for the day. And you want to remember, you want to have it within 1 hour. So if you do not have a protein-filled breakfast within 1 hour, your metabolism will actually go on a downward spiral. And you can't get it back up no matter how quick or how often you eat after that. So you have that 1 hour window. You want to get not only a breakfast, but a protein-filled breakfast, which again is why I love the shakes. Takes the thinking out of there. 24 grams of protein I know I'm putting in my body first thing in the morning. Super simple with 4 kiddos and not having time to make eggs and whatever else that would make a balanced breakfast. After you have your breakfast, you want to have 2 omegas with that. In your guide, your daily guide that I've been referring to that came in your box, it doesn't show 2 omegas for breakfast time. So I am telling you that it's optional. I personally tell everybody to take 2 omegas at breakfast and 2 omegas at dinner. And I'm going to go into in a little bit troubleshooting and why I choose to tell people that. But again, if you're following what I'm saying and what most people do recommend is you want to take 2 omegas at breakfast. And then what you want to do is about 2 hours after you've had your breakfast, 2 to 3 hours, you want to have a healthy AM snack that has some type of protein in it. Keep this in mind. If a snack or a meal does not have a protein, it doesn't even count. Protein is what is going to help burn fat, build muscle mass, so you want to make sure that you are having protein. So remember, AM snack, you want to always make sure that you never exceed 3 hours without eating. So if you've had breakfast, you want to make sure about 2 to 3 hours you're having your first AM snack. Again, great snack ideas you can find in this 24-day challenge book. And also be creative. Use the recipe guide that was emailed to you, as well as Pinterest has amazing 24-day challenge recipes and snack ideas. So now you've had your AM snack. Now what happens? Again, 2 to 3 hours later, you're going to have lunch with protein. Again, choose clean carbs if you're having carbs, and the very good amount of protein during your lunch. Now, this is optional, but if you have chosen to pick up Crave Check, you will take 1 capsule approximately 2 hours after lunch. And the only thing you have to remember is you want to have at least 6 hours between that first capsule that you had in the morning till when you have the next capsule 2 hours after lunch. So that's again only if you've chosen to get Crave Check. If you do have craving issues, you do want to grab this Crave Check. It's amazing, and again, it can be used during the cleanse phase as well as the max phase, the second part of this challenge, and after. Depending on you personally, you can take an optional second spark. 2 to 3 o'clock seems to be the window for most people where you hit that wall of exhaustion. Well, wherever your wall of exhaustion is, you just want to back it up about 20-30 minutes, and that's when you would take your second spark. Personally, for Rob and I, we take ours at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it gets us through our day. We don't ever hit that wall that we were used to hitting all the time. Now it's time for your afternoon snack. 2 to 3 hours after lunch. That seems to always be the window that you want to stick with. Again, your PM snack, your late afternoon snack is going to be filled with protein. Now it's time for dinner. You want to have protein-filled dinner, lots of vegetables. Think green, think things from the earth. Fill that plate with vegetables and take your 2 omegas with breakfast. Now we're on to bedtime. This is so important. I'm going to stress and stress and stress how important these Herbal Cleanse tablets are at night. The fiber that you have been taking for these 10 days, its job is to scrub clean all the toxins and buildup that's in your stomach, on your walls of your intestines. That's what's making you feel sluggish and bloated and just lack of energy. So the fiber is doing its job. Well, now the Herbal Cleanse tablets, their job is to get rid of these toxins. So you do not want to forget these Herbal Cleanse tablets at night. What people I've heard suggest is keep them on your end table close to your bed so you remember to do it. Nowadays, with all this great technology, set your phone to set off an alarm to remind you to take these Herbal Cleanse tablets. But when you're taking these Herbal Cleanse tablets, please make sure you're following it with 8 ounces of water. Whenever you take products, you want to make sure you take 8 ounces of water after the products so you really are pushing them down and they're getting into your gut and doing their job. For those, again, optional, that grabbed Catalyst, make sure you take 3 Catalyst at bedtime. Super important at bed. We know that when we don't feed our bodies go into starvation mode. Catalyst is amino acids. It's protein in pill form. So if you're putting that in your body before you go to bed, your body is getting that protein that it needs to continue to burn fat. So always remember this. Protein builds lean muscle, and lean muscle burns fat. So this is, again, why I love Catalyst, and I promote it. Now, please remember, this is for the first 10 days. You can use this amazing checklist that we have in the guide. Hopefully, if there is somebody that got you on this challenge, they'll be following along with reminders as well. With that being said, let's go on to troubleshooting and tips. Okay, I'm going to turn myself back on for this. Okay, so we're going to go over some troubleshooting and some tips that we've heard over and over for 4 years that we like to address right away. So hopefully we can nip it in the butt before it happens to you. I'm going to be that person to bring it up to you. But constipation is going to sometimes be an issue, and I'm going to tell you how, if this does become a problem, how you can solve it. I've already mentioned about why I add omegas in the beginning. And this is important because you're drinking this fiber, and sometimes fiber can sometimes fiber can make people feel bloated, and some people complain of constipation. So what you can do to avoid this is take 2 extra omegas with breakfast, and then you could take 2 at dinner. Personally, I take 6. I've done this after I did my first challenge. I realized that my body needed 6 omegas. Omegas are just fatty fish oil that's going to help keep the body moving along, keep everything going in your body coming back out. So you want to make sure you take 2 at breakfast, 2 at dinner. For those that have an issue with staying regular, you want to make sure you take maybe 2 in the morning, 2 at lunch, and 2 at dinner. I do that 6 all the time. So again, if you are having this issue, those are ways that you can solve it. And if it's not solving the problem, please reach out. Use these Facebook accountability groups to ask these questions, because we've all experienced it. The next thing I want to talk about is eating enough. We want to make sure that we're eating enough, 5 to 6 meals a day. The rule of thumb is every meal has a protein. making sure you have enough protein if you want to burn fat. Another thing you need to remember is that real food, not living on processed food. Processed food is not good for our bodies. That's why we're cleansing, we're cleaning our bodies out to be able to put the right nutrients and vitamins in. Look at it like this. It's like fuel to the fire. If you don't add fuel to a fire, then what's going to happen is the fire is going to burn out. That's like your metabolism. If you don't put the right food in to keep your metabolism going, you're going to burn out your metabolism, which leads to lack of ability to lose weight and feeling sluggish. So we want to remember that protein is needed for weight loss, needed for toning, needed for muscle building. So eat real food, think earth, food from the earth. 1 hour of waking up, you want to make sure you have that breakfast, protein-filled breakfast. Drinking enough water, huge for this cleanse. We want to make sure that you're drinking, especially for the first 10 days, at least 100 ounces of water. You're putting that fiber in. If you put in at least 100 ounces of water, you're going to take advantage of that fiber and let it scrub really hard in there to clean it all out. That's going to give you that energy, that lack of bloating. You're going to feel awesome. Just keep drinking your water. This is something I want to make everybody aware of, just in case you don't know. If you do have a headache for the first couple days, that is normal. Don't quit. That is part of the detox. Depending on how toxic your body is, depends on how your body reacts to being detoxed. So if you have a little bit of a headache, don't worry. Try to stick through. Try not to take anything for it. Just keep drinking more water and it'll clean it out really fast and get the toxins free. The Herbal Cleanse tablets will do their job to make you feel great. Just make sure you're taking them at night. This is what I want to leave you with. We have heard it all. There's nothing to be embarrassed of. If there's bumps along the way, solve them. Don't struggle. This is not something that you should struggle through. This is actually something you should be enjoying. So don't feel embarrassed to ask questions on those pages. Ask questions to whoever got you involved. We are all here to help. And most of us, many of us that are on these challenge groups and on these team pages, that's our job, is to help you. So please reach out to us. Talking about All In Facebook group, on these All In Facebook groups that you're a part of, or if you want to be a part of them, please post any great recipes that you have, encouragement for everyone, questions, comments. We're all in this together. We've all decided that we're all in for 2016. We're going to lock arms with each other. We're going to get each other the success that we want to have. So I want to make sure that all of you have an amazing first 10 days. I'll be back on probably about day 10 with the second phase of this challenge to help you out. If you have any questions, please friend me on Facebook. I'm here to help everyone. And I'll be with you tomorrow joining in. Again, I'm doing a modified nursing challenge, which goes to show you Advocare has something for everyone. So I'm excited. Thank you again for letting me train you on this. And if there's any questions between what the guide says and what I said today, please reach out to me. Ask me on one of the pages. Ask your upline leader. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.